الحياة الدنيا فإن الجحيم هي المأوى وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى فإن الجنة هي المأوى يسألونك عن الساعة أيان مرساها فيما أنت من ذكراها إلى ربك منتهاها إنما أنت منذر من يخشاها كأنهم يوم يرونها لم يلبثوا إلا عشية أو ضحاها آمنت بالله صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أما بعد In this world, you see people, ourselves, we love things and people, and after loving them, giving best of our lives, our times, our abilities, our minds, our bodies to others, the more we experience and we give, the more people realize that they are being misused, they are being taken advantage of, and someone is abusing their loyalty and their simpleness. That is why when people, they interact with each other and they come close to each other and they deal with each other, complaints, depression, betrayal, and mentioning that how they have been unfaithful to them, how they have harmed or broken or shattered their trust, how their loyalty has been abused. Every now and then you hear in the news between countries, between families, between spouses and relatives, brothers and sisters, majority except the Salihin, they are there for their own benefit in any relationship. So the more loyalty, the more trust you give, the more control you give to the other person. And when they abuse that, or they abandon, they throw away, then people come and complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through to Rasulullah sallallahu Anbiya and Awliya and Sulaha in their times. I have been wrong, look what I did for my son, look what he has done in return. Look what I did for my husband, I've given him all my life, what he is doing now, he's leaving me. Look what I have done for my wife, how she is treating me. Look what I have done for my brother, for society. So sometimes people, they come to this conclusion that they've been betrayed, they've been taken advantage of. People who, because they don't know the creation, that's why, although the topic is today that who am I and who is God, but who is the creation, that's the third element as well, which we are not going to discuss that, but that's another part. That who am I, that is to where to begin from. That who are you and who is God, who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then there's the third other elements coming in, that who is the creation, what is the role of the people and the creation, where do they come in, what are they doing here? Why didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send me somewhere alone on a planet like Pluto or another planet where I will be living alone? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could facilitate life here, He could facilitate life anywhere. And there's so many stars, there's so many galaxies, there's so many planets. What is the purpose of Allah putting you in amidst of people and creation on a small point, like I mentioned last time as well? People fall for other people, they love other people, they love things when they see certain benefits, they see certain other incentives outwardly, their looks and other matters. But the more they experience sometime, they know that it's not what they thought. The matter is that when we will know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the main problem is we do not know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the main. Because we know sins, we know a little bit of enjoyment we get from people and things and from desires. So we tend to give ourselves to them, but we do not know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But one thing I can tell you, even if you do not know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one thing I can tell you and inform you with conviction, that those people who had experience of coming into relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be it Anbiya, be it Awliya, the more they have gone in and closer, the more they felt appreciated, the more they felt blessed, the more happiness and the more valuable they felt, and the more they thought that yes, this is the being who we can put our trust into, who will never abuse our trust, and he has never abused anyone's trust, whoever have put trust or had dealing with him. So yes, one thing I can inform you, in the light of those people who went into a relationship of a servant and Lord, of worshipper and God, that never anyone complained up to now. But with the creation, with other things, every day you see dishonesty, abandonment, betrayal, rebelliousness, wanting everything from you and not giving you back anything or very less, just taking advantage of you. Again and again, people experience this with the creation, with the spouses, with the other people, that one day this happens. But then because they don't know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are keeping themselves back. They've never really entered a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a superficial type, hereditary type. It's as though they've been thrown into being Muslim. And that's true, people who are Muslim by birth, it's as though they've been thrown into Islam. They have not chosen Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have not chosen Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Their inner self yet are to become Muslims really, fully. That when they realize that they're truthful. Now most of the time is they're going with the flow only. because they are a Muslim family, they are in a Muslim community, and they're going. That's why their minds and hearts, shaitan, they are going towards shaitan, they are going towards dunya, the culture, elderly people, some their parents are dragging them come towards Islam, but their inner self, they are going towards other direction because their inner self have not embraced Islam fully. They've never entered into love with Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When someone enters in love, one cannot imagine. They are driving, they are thinking of them. They are working, they are thinking of them. They are sleeping, they are dreaming of them. And that is the love of a thing, a car or a person. Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, he was traveling once in a journey, and he met a young man, a Muslim who was one of his ummatis, one of his sahabis radiyallahu anhu. And Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam spent some time with him in his journey, and when he was to leave, he said, "Oh, the Prophet of Allah, please pray for me that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives me one atom, one small part, one drop of His love from His ocean. From the ocean of love, He gives me one drop of the ocean." Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam said, "I fear that you will not be able to tolerate it. You will not be able to tolerate it." He said, "Then pray for me, I get some part, 100th part of the drop of the love of Allah. Not the ocean, not a water, meaning in a glass full, not a drop, but 100th part. One particle of love of Allah." Okay, he said, "I pray for you." He said, "Ya Allah, bless this young man. He already loves you, he likes your Prophet, but bless him with your true love, one particle of your love on him." So Isa alayhi salam then went away wherever he was going. Once in a while, after so many months, he thought that that person I prayed for, he would have love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I like to visit, because when you know someone who loves Allah, you also love them. That's why you love awliya Allah. In every, even religion, if it's not Islam, even Christianity, they love their saints. In Judaism, they love saints. Anyone they consider closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is natural tendency to love them. So Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam said, "I will visit the young man." So he came to that same place and asked the people that there was a young man who, that's what his name is. Where is he? They said that he does not live in the locality now. He's gone into jungles and deserts. He doesn't come. We think that he's not well. So Isa alayhi salam knew that it's not that he's not well, it seems that he has got that particle of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam went towards the jungle, and in the jungle there was a big hill or mountain. He couldn't find him. Then he saw him on the peak, on the top of the mountain, standing, and his face looking towards the heaven, as though he's froze there. As though he's froze there. He's just looking at heaven, silent completely. And Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam went to him and he said, "Assalamu alaikum, ya ummati, O my ummati, O my sahabi, peace be upon you." No response. No response is coming. He then said, "Oh, servant of Allah, I am the Nabi of Allah, I am the Ruhullah, I am the Kalimatullah, I am Isa bin Maryam, the messenger of Allah." He still is not paying attention. He's still looking constantly there. He did not speak. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jal revealed on Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, Jesus cried, he said, my prophet, my messenger, anyone who truly loves me and have a particle of my love in his heart, even if he is cut into two pieces, he won't feel it. He won't know it. And this person, because you have prayed for him, I bestowed a particle of love of mine on him. So now he's not paying it. Let aside dunya, let aside Jannah, Akhirah. A prophet of Allah is coming and he's not able to hear him because he is so much absorbed, so much drowned in the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As they say, but we've never tasted that. We know the love of car, the love of phone, the love of men, the love of women, the love of office, the love of fame and name. And these things are insignificant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that they are not dunya, and whatever is in dunya is not significant in the sight of Allah, is less significant rather than a mosquito, wing of a mosquito. So we've never experienced that because we never knew Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as we should. That's why we are going here, there. And the second thing, the big mistake which we are doing, someone said, all the chaos on the face of the earth, disregarding people believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. Another mistake which we are doing, even from worldly point of view, that there are two types of creation on this face of the earth. One is human being, one is human beings. The other is things. Things meaning a shop, a car, a house, money, all materialistic and all things. And one side it is human being. So the earth is filled with land, fruits, trees, property, and human beings. Much of the chaos on the face of the earth and the destruction in the family and in between husband and wife, between many countries, is that the actual thing is that people should be loved, people are more valuable, and things should be used to make them happy or make yourself happy. So people should be loved. They are the higher creation. And things, you just make a use, just to fulfill your necessity. Things should be used only. And what we are doing, we are loving the things and using the people to get more things and to actually get more things. And whoever can get us more things, we love them, we like them more. So the relationship is the base of relationship is wrong. How Islam has taught, how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught, who came into this world in this blessed month of Rabiul Awwal, that not to love things but to love people. The people is precious. Your mother is precious, your neighbor is precious, a human being is precious on itself. Things that they are not to be loved, they are to be used for the service of human being. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran. وَالَّذِي سَخَّرَ لَكُم مَّا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. He said, everything in the heavens and the earth have been made useful, subservient for human being. And human being is to be loved. And things are to be used. And now you see, if you a little bit think about, little bit deeply about this matter, and you will know that why there are so many rows, there's so many disputes, and the fundamental of dispute is that these two people are loving the things, the money or whatever the things, not the person. So we should have used the things and love people and give them the, and we are using people, taking advantage of, so that we can get out the things which we love. Taking advantage of this person, we can get things. Fighting with this person so I can get some extra things, no matter through fraud, so that I can get what I love, which is the things, which is the car, which is the money or anything. So in disregarding the deen, even in worldly terms, we are doing the wrong things. That we are loving the wrong creation, giving value to the wrong things. And in any dispute, that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, anyone who disputed with him in worldly matter, he abandoned that worldly matter. He abandoned that thing. He never made that an issue with him. For him, the person was precious. Even sometimes he dealt with kuffar, the people were precious. He gave preference to the human beings, not actually to the thing. And today, as you see, husband is fighting with wife, oh, this is my money, this is my house. Brother is fighting with a brother, this is mine, this is yours, etc. So this dispute, a country is fighting. A piece of land is being fought. So people, the countries, we are loving that piece of land and we are sacrificing people on that. Whilst the logic, the wisdom says, no, the land should be sacrificed. The land should be sacrificed, which is created for human being, and people should be loved. So I gave normally an example many times that the Prophet ﷺ had a house in Makkatul Mukarramah, which he and his beloved wife Sayyidah Khadijat al-Kubra radiyallahu anha lived happily for many, many years. It was his first marriage, and she was one of the richest women of Makkah and had a very big mansion in Makkah, one of the biggest house in Makkatul Mukarramah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived there. It was their house until Hijrah, when he sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated to Madinatul Munawwarah. And the mushrikeen and the others, they possessed properties of Muslims and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam back there in Makkatul Mukarramah. They've done this zulm. They have such a big house which was excavated just recently as well, found the rooms where Rasulullah used to pray, his guest receiving room, other things. So it was so strongly built, meaning it was still preserved, you may say, up to very recently. Now the situation changes, that the Prophet ﷺ become victorious in Fath Makkah, when he becomes the sole absolute ruler of Makkah. Even the lives of people are dependent upon his one command, because these people who have wronged him all his life and the Sahaba, and now they were fighting him as well. When they were standing in front of him in rows, just the Sahaba Ikram, 10,000 were waiting for one command, like Sayyidina Khalid ibn Walid, to cut off their necks, let aside properties. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam forgave them and said, La tathrib alaykumul yawm. And furthermore, he even did not claim his own house back. He didn't say to that person, look, you have been living unlawfully in my house without paying rent, without doing anything. Now, at least I don't do anything. I don't give you any punishment. Just give me my house back. But his personality was such that he said, I don't want to disturb. His family is living there. He is living there for so many years. He's been now familiar with it. He's become used to it. So I do not like to disturb. He didn't even request him. Nor that person said, nor Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam even requested that, please, at least I am here in a short trip in Makkah, I'm going back to Medina anyway, let me live in, it is a memory of my wife, memory of our marriage, memory of our years which we passed. No. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam even did not disturb the person to the extent by just reminding or asking him that actually return it to me or let me live in it or give me some money. But rather he himself, for the number of days, few days he lived there, he lived in a tent. He lived in the tent in Makkatul Mukarramah and returned back to Madinatul Munawwarah. And when he came back to Madinatul Munawwarah, in all his life you don't find in Seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he demanded. This is not even a dispute or disputer, but he still did. So similarly, you will find this in the lives of all awliya, and this is the secret of, if you want to attain the love of Allah and the love of creation, this is the secret. You won't attain the love of creation becoming like a star, a pop star or very famous person or president. If people do love you at that time, they are not loving you, they are loving their own nafs, because they like to hear sweet voices and lyrics, or they like to watch a skill. They don't really care. That's why when you lose these things, their love goes away as well. Because that's not, they never loved you. They were just loving their own self, meaning they liked something and they were loving. And the secret which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam revealed, that if you want the people to love you, and many of the people who go through politics, through earning a lot of money and all these things, and it is to earn fame and name and love of people, and they don't normally get that. Rather, they destroy their akhirah and actually don't. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked, he alayhi salatu wasalam, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is there anything we can do or one can do that Allah will love that person and the people will love that person? What more you want? That Allah is loving you, people are loving you. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Izhad fi dunya yuhibbuk Allah. Detach your heart from the love of dunya, love of things. Allah will love you. All your blocking is love of Allah, is that you have filled your glass of the heart with the love of dunya. There is no place for love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in there. You've left. So with love of dunya, you detach your heart. Yuhibbuk Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will love you. And he said about the people, Wazhad fima aydin nas. Do not, which means, I'm interpreting now, do not compete with people about things. Do not compete with people about the things which they normally compete in materialistic things, in clothing. Do not enter the race that you want to outdo the other, to own a better car, to wear a good, meaning a quality clothing, or to own a house in a better, to own or to go for the fame and name and glory, the worldly glory. If you compete in that, in these things, and normally people do to outdo others, so that I look high, the person looks down, so that I am loved. But normally the result is that they start hating you and they start being jealous to you rather than actually loving you and having sympathy or honor in you. As you see how many glittering clothing one can wear, they're shining like stars. But what do people say? Oh, this person is showing off. Look, he is looking like, although the lights coming out of him, for example, this glittering and the clothing, whatever. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, libas and his qameez and his chadar was the most simple. Sometimes it would have patches on it, very simple clothing, ancient times clothing, simple, not having any embroidery on that. But the attraction which people found in him and in his clothing is unparalleled. And similarly, the awliya Allah as well. Look at them and their lives. It's their simplicity which draws love and attraction, where £1 million suit cannot actually bring that. But rather, people will, as I said, either they will make joke, or they will hate, or they will become jealous of you. What does he think he is? He thinks he has a good car, he's trying to show it off. he is both, etc., etc. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Wazhad fi ma'idin." Whatever is in the hands of people, try not to compete in that. And you will find that people have started loving. Rather, whatever people want, try to give them. Try to give them more if they happen. Let aside disputing. If it is in your power, you should be happy to give them, that they have the best thing, they have the best thing, and you have the lowly things. Tawadu and humbleness is not only saying, I am humble man or I am humble woman in my humble people. Tawadu is in clothing as well. Your clothing is showing arrogance. Tawadu is in when you are disputing about things, you want give preference to your brother or sister or actually yourself. So coming back to what I was saying, that who is God, that we have never known really to them. Let aside knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deeply, we even don't know the very prominent qualities of God, which are 99, very, very outstanding. Like about a car, they are promised the car drives, the car is actually have some features which are very well known. It has doors, it has a steering, it has wheels, and it can drive you, it can give you other comfort, whatever. There's some very common, if a person doesn't know even that, what does he know? For him it is a box only. It's like a box only. Or the person who knows the paper, it is for paper for him. A person who thinks a check, a 1 million pound check is also paper. For him, a box of sweet is looking more attractive because he knows sweets, and the child doesn't know the value of the checks. He will go for the toy because that's what he values. But the person who is mature, he will see that this one, although it is paper, but it is 1 million pound check, there are so many things in there. So he will go for the paper. So the issue is that we have never known Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as we should, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ, that people have not appreciated, they have not valued Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as he should value. And falling for the wrong things, and then we get betrayal, and then we complain, and then other things happen. People commit suicide, people abandon relationship, breaks relationship. And as I was saying to you, that those people who have experienced relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa azza wa jal, Anbiya alayhi salam and awliya and sulaha, they will tell you, their lives are witnesses that the more deeper they have gone, the more sacrifices they have made, the more enjoyment, the more pleasure, and the more they have invited others to have that, and they never regretted, and nor they are going to regret in the qabr at the time of death, nor they are going to regret in akhirah, nor they are going to regret anywhere. That's why Allah subhanahu again and again, you must have heard this verse, but try to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun. Again and again, Ya ibadi la khawfun alaykum wa la antum tahzanun. Ala inna awliya Allahi la khawfun. No fear, no regret. What does it mean? That with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you are in relationship, no fear of anything, no regret and remorse and grief events of anything. And with the creation, all the time you are fearful, all the time there's grievances and the worries, what's going to happen, etc. Anyway, you have heard the first series. Now I'm just going to sum up very quickly as well. And what I have mentioned to you now, this is part of the second, but now some additional diagrams, because we are going in a particular sequence. So just to recap for the people who are not there, that firstly, know your home, meaning temporal home, the earth, where you live. I showed you this in detail, that what I am, when the earth so big, it looks to us, but how small it is, not compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not compared to the heavens, not compared to Jibreel or Mikael, just compared to even normal planets in the family of the solar system. And then the sun is so big that the earth actually is not even see, is invisible. Even the sun becomes invisible in front of, I mentioned. And then we are part of a galaxy, and the galaxy is part of the universe, and the universe is expanding all the time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how actually great or where it ends or how many universes it is. The last time we visited, and I mentioned to you the amana. The amana which we refers to that before creating the creation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all these things here and in this world, Allah Azza wa Jal wa subhanahu wa ta'ala, He presented a trust, a power to all of the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By the verse of the Quran, إِنَّا عَرَضْنَا الْأَمَانَةَ عَلَى السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالْجِبَالِ فَأَبَيْنَ أَن يَحْمِلْنَهَا وَأَشْفَقْنَ مِنْهَا وَحَمَلَهَا الْإِنسَانُ. So that was the single most important event which took place after our the creation, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided that He wants to give freedom of choice to someone. Why? Because as I said, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from any need, but He becomes pleased and He becomes displeased. So He wanted someone to give Him pleasure and please Him by choice. He wanted someone to choose someone to be with Him in eternity. So Allah Azza wa Jalla subhanahu, when He presented all of the other creation, they declined. They said, we do not want that freedom of will. And human beings, they took the freedom of will, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose them. So how significant you are, how valuable you are, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants your fellowship and your company forever and ever in eternity. So, okay, maybe other human beings are not valuing you, other people are not putting any value on you. They're not, maybe. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose you to be with Him, not only in this world, in Akhirah, in Jannah, forever and ever. That's how much valuable you are in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He has not chosen any other creation for that, except human beings and Jinnah. That's how much you matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You might not matter to the kings of this world, the governments of this world, or the neighbors, or whatever, the people. But for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He, from all millions, like people choose friends, that who I want to make best friend, they choose from thousands and the millions of people, and they choose one person, I want to make he be my friend. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jal, from millions of creation, countless creation, chose the human being, the insan, to be in His company and be in eternity. Anyway, after giving that, the next part came that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that I have given you this freedom of will, you have got this with your own choice. Now an oath took place that how will you use this amana? How you should use this amana, this choice and this freedom of will, or what choices you should make. Why? So that you may be in the company of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forever and ever. That is the point of it. You can make any choice, whatever you want, when you have freedom. But Allah Azza wa Jal, because He chose us, He wanted us to be with Him. And to be with Him, there are certain things which we need to do, and those are which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned to us, that if you do this, then you are with me forever and ever in eternity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jal have never shown himself. No one has seen Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from any other creation. No angels, no malaika, no others. Only one person, up to now, only one person, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the night of Miraj, seen Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this privilege will be given to every human being who will enter the Jannah, enter the paradise. He will be given. Even in Akhirah, others are not going to get this opportunity, even then. So know that this oath that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which He took by saying, وَإِذْ أَخَذَ رَبُّكَ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ, that أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ, He's reminding us that He wanted to, like you, He's putting, like when you say to someone, you want someone to say something, and we use the word sometimes that this person is putting words in his mouth. He's not leaving him independent. He is putting words in his mouth. He's meaning teaching him away. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved so much that He didn't say, who am I? He didn't say, who am I? For example, so that you are left in complete disarray. You do not know, you have no idea. It's like He loves the human being, the spirit, so much that He is even giving hint of the answer in asking. He's saying, Alastu bi rabbikum, as you can see, am I not your Lord? So it's like He loves and He is putting the words in our mouth, or you may say, giving the hint of the answer. Yes, O Allah. It was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam spirit who spoke first, and then our souls and all our spirits, they said, Ya, yes, O Allah. Ya, qalu bala shahidna. You are our Lord. So there, the decision was made that who we are, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was introduced, that He is the Lord and the one who is worshipped, and we are the worshipped. Now, because Allah created all of the spirits and asked them, am I not your Lord? Every spirit amongst mankind replied, yes, O Allah, you are our Lord. So now, this becomes our nature. What does this become? Yani, believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, worship of Allah azza wa jalla subhanahu wa ta'ala, this has become our nature, and this we are wired, you may say, or programmed to worship. If we will not worship, then we will worship other things as well. Because you are hungry, you have to fill your stomach with something. If you don't fill it with halal, you will eat something haram. So the hunger of worship is always there for you. If you will not be idealizing and worship, if you will not worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that need will be fulfilled. But why what? Maybe you are, because you say, I worship football, I am fan of football, cricket, I love that person. Or you become fond of yourselves. Some people, they try to, you may say, they end up making themselves their gods. So that need have to be fulfilled. The option is not worship or not worship. The option is worship Allah or worship the devil. Worship Allah or worship the nafs. Worship Allah and serve Allah or serve the people. Serve the creation or serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And moreover, this diagram actually, all of this universe which you have seen here, which I am showing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, a very, very vital, very, very important verse of the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces Him and mentions an argument so that people can understand. لَوْ كَانَ فِيهِمَا آلِهَا إِلَّا اللَّهُ لَفَسَدَتَا. He says that if there was in all this universe So big is the universe, millions, billions stars, as you can see. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if there was more than one God in the universe, there would have been a chaos, a destruction. There wouldn't be harmony, but will be disharmony and chaos and destruction in the universe. That is why Allah Azza wa Jal gives example again and again in the Quran in many verses. For example, in Surah Yasin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "La shamsu yanbaghi laha an tudrika al-qamar wa la al-laylu sabiqu an-nahar." That is not for the sun, it does not befit the sun, or the sun would not do this, that it will destroy the moon, or it will reach the moon and eat the moon up because moon is small, or no, the moon actually will go toward the sun or clash with the sun. Every وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. Every creation, every one of them, every one of those celestial bodies, they are orbiting in their own order. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indicating who is keeping them there. Scientists say sometime galaxies, like our galaxy, Milky Way, for example, are billions and trillions of stars. And sometime one galaxy will go exactly in a collision course with another galaxy, and they will pass through each other and no collision occurs. It's like millions of cars without roads. Millions of cars without roads are racing in opposite direction and nothing clashes. Not one accident happens. How wonderful that is, and how, you may say, thoughtful that is. The millions and billions stars and moons and planets, sometimes whole of the galaxies come and they go through each other and with safety and no destruction. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that it is one being, one will is being executed in whole of the universe. That's why there is no chaos on it. And he is saying, لَوْ كَانَ فِيهِمَا آلِهَةٌ إِلَّا اللَّهُ لَفَسَدَ. If there was any other God, false God, you may say imaginary God, or you may say just for the sake of example, that there will be chaos on the face of the earth. Okay, that is one aspect of the verse. The other aspect which we can learn from, that is who Allah is. Now who I am, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this verse we can also see that if there is so vast universe and there is another command, another will in action opposite to the will of Allah, it will cause chaos and destruction. Then just think about yourself, how small you are, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot, 9 foot, 5 foot, whatever, and how small your body is and the mind. And if in this little body, if there is another false god activating, or you are entertaining another ilah, another deity in your heart or in your mind, then again, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the fasadata, there will be fasad in the universe. Similarly, there will be fasad and chaos in your body as well. You see, if whole of the universe cannot tolerate another deity and it will be destruction, how can your body tolerate it? So that is why, that is one of the reasons when you see people misusing their hand, the feet, the eye, their minds, is because there is another deity, another false god working in there. What is that false god? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, أَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَى. O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, have you not seen that person who has made his own desires his ilah, his God? O Prophet, have you not seen the person who have made his own desires his God? So his own desire, he has become God. So when the nafs becomes the ilah, when the nafs becomes the God, the false God, and it is activated also in the body. So the nafs will say, use body like this. Allah's command is something else. Now because there are two, there is destruction. There's destruction. And because the nafs gives the command opposite to Allah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Inna nafsa la'ammaratun bisu, that the nafs incites towards evil, whilst Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala incites and invites towards actually goodness, towards khair. So when they're two, there will be fight, there will be destructions of will, of commands will clash, and the result will be disorientated body, body in not harmony, a body not peaceful for themselves or others, and causing chaos on inside and outside. If that person is in a house, he will cause chaos in the family. If that person is become a leader of a country, he will cause chaos in whole of the country. If he becomes the leader of the world, he'll cause chaos on the face of the earth. And if he is by himself, wherever he goes, he's working somewhere, he is going to give hard time to anyone. If he become a family member, a business partner, he is going to cause chaos there. Because the fasad is in there and is going to spread from him. That is why the only place in the universe you find fasad and chaos is our earth. Is our earth, not in the heavens. In the heavens, once it did happen, but then you know what happened as a result as well. What happened? Another false deity, false god became activated in a person known as Azazil previously, whose name now is Shaitan and Iblis. Previously his name was, because he was in the heavens, not on the earth. So in the heavens, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, prostrate, his nafs became activated, became another god. That's what kufr is, that he claimed to be another god as well, that, okay, I know better. I am better, I know better what to do. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that this will not be tolerated. Fakhruj. End it. So that person, when he came on the face of the earth, now he's causing chaos on the face of the earth. And we are becoming his friends and his foot soldier, helping him in destroying us and destroy. He himself has no chance of winning. He's lost anyway. So only chance of winning who has is me and you. Me and you have chance of winning or losing. He has no chance. He's already lost. He has already lost. So when he said, I've already lost, let's actually now see what happens to these people. So he caused chaos firstly on the face of in the heavens there by disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him, threw him back here on the face of the earth, and then he caused his here, and many of us are helping him in doing that. But the point what I'm trying to convey to you, always think about this verse. If there is such vast sun and galaxies, if there was to be another god, false god, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying there will be destruction in your small little petty body. If you entertain another deity, you are following the commands of the nafs and shaitan as well in relation to your body. There will be disorganization, there will be depression, there will be depression, and there will be no peace actually in that body, in that mind. That is why every sinful person is a disturbed person, restless, because the sin brings darkness, the sin brings depression. So understand about the universe as well this, that if whole universe cannot tolerate another command opposite to the command of Allah, how will your own body? No matter what you do, no matter how much you feel happy or to do something. And I gave this example again and again to people, that don't be tricked by shaitan in the sin, in alcohol, in pornography, in zina, in killing, in defrauding, in actually earning unlawful money. There might be enjoyment. I'm not saying there might be enjoyment. There is enjoyment, that's why people go. There's enjoyment, but there is no peace in there. There's enjoyment in sin, but no peace there. But we are not wise enough to differentiate between these two, that enjoyment and peace, there's difference. We do sin to be peaceful, but we attain little bit of enjoyment, but no peace. So that's why the people who are doing these sins, they might at that time feel very good or very enjoyable and pleasure, temporal pleasure. But after that, it is bewilderment, it's emptiness, it's depression, and it's a sense, because it's like a kite which has been cut from the actually, its string, that it will be like that. When a person is cut away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you are just on the mercy of circumstance and shaitan, that's what happens. So this is now to further understand your nature, that you have proclaimed the lordship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as I mentioned, that who am I, that you should understand what is your nature. And fitra, as every human being, Islam says, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every human being is born on fitra, a primordial nature. That you leave a human being, you give him no teaching, he will naturally be inclined towards three things. Even he is living in a jungle, even he is living alone. One is to worship one God, with monotheism, meaning one God, a human being. If you leave a human being, you don't give him good teaching, no ideas from outside come, alone he lives, he will be inclined towards worshipping one creator of the universe. Second, justice. This is fitra. Every human being born, no matter where they are, if they see anything wrong happening, zulm happening, it is their inner self tells it's not right. They should put it right, they should help. They do it or not, they suppress it or not, that's their matter, but it comes. And third is compassion. So this is in the fitrah of human being. But moreover, in the next diagram which you see, I just want to indicate another element of the nature of human being, and then we finish, inshallah. Human nature, as here I've just explaining the same thing but with an example so that it settles in your mind. Nature of the eagle, very well known, is to fly. The birds fly, that's its nature, and it's flying. Now, if it goes into water, if the eagle wanted to swim, what will happen? It's against its nature. And if the eagle says, now, why I am being restricted, that there is so much enjoyment, the sea is looking so nice, the water is so good, and why I am restricted, I have to stay in the air and fly. I want to enjoy, why I am being restricted? I am being stopped. I should have freedom. I want to jump in there. So what is going to happen? It's going to actually drown. Similarly, it would die and become enslaved by the same water, because eagle is going against its nature. Its success was to go higher and higher and higher, more and more in the skies, and live in its dwelling. Similarly, the nature of fish is to swim, stay in the water. So, if it says, I am being restricted, the water is a burden upon me all the time, I am in water, surrounded by it, I want to have fresh air, I want to go out, I see these birds flying, other things are living outside, I want to live outside, why I am restricted in this sea? What will happen? If the fish wanted to fly, it will lead to misery and death. So, you see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created nature or their in other creation, and they know themselves very well that what is our nature. The fish knows its own nature, the eagle knows its own nature. Now the final question in today's discourse is, what is then the nature of the human being? What is your nature? That is the eagle knows its own nature, the fish knows its own nature. And if they go opposite to the nature, they will be enslaved, they will be suffocated, they will kill themselves. So what is the nature of human being? You should know the answer. If not, then no, that's what it is. The topic which we are discussing, that who am I? Who am I? What is my nature? If you behave like another, if you are a fish behaving like an eagle behaving like a fish, you are in big trouble. The human nature of human being is to fly like eagle in the sky of servanthood of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of being enslaved to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So mine and your nature, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us for وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. That, oh, the human being, insan and human being, you have been created for worship. What? Try to understand. Allah wants, and He has selected us to be in His company for eternity if we have the potential of that. But we want the company of shaitan, company of things. And here, nature of the human being is to fly in the sky of servanthood, very high, very not lowly. But when we look at down there, we see the rivers of seas of sin, the rivers of desires, which lead to slavery. So we see, oh, why are being restricted to worship? Why have to do good things? Why have to offer salah? Why have to restrict ourselves? We are being restricted. Look, oh, what's happening in the discourse? What's happening in the clubs? What's happening in the centers of zina and fisk and fujur and all this independent? Why I'm restricted of these clothing? No, I want to be independent. I want to be free. I want freedom. I'll wear whatever I like. I'll do whatever I like. This is what happens in the human being. At that time, the human being is going against his nature. His nature was never to be independent. His nature was to be dependent always and fly like an eagle in the servanthood, in the worshipful life with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when we go down there, we find grass is not green on the other side. Grass is not green. Look, ask those people who thought, oh, nothing happened, brother, live your life. Drugs, just enjoy your life, it doesn't matter. Someone is sitting in prison. Someone is sitting corner in the house. Someone has destroyed their own family. Someone has destroyed their own finances. Someone is making life hell for themselves and others. Others who had extramarital relations, look, their even lawful relationships have been destroyed, and that they are going to go soon as well. At the end, someone who is defrauding, be it 1 year, 2 years after, either they'll be sitting in prison, they'll be committing suicide or whatever they happen. So, because they have gone against their nature, how long can a fish stay outside the water? How long can an eagle stay in the water? So, if you are an eagle, like that's why Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jailani rahmullah, one of his title is Shahbaz. Shahbaz means the king of the eagles. Kings of the, not only eagle, but he is known as the king of eagles, meaning he is like the king of awliya in the wilaya, in the sky of friendship of Allah. He is the eagle of that sky. So if you are, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this potential to you, and that's your nature, to be a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be kings forever, be in the company of the King of Kings in Jannah forever and ever. If you go down these canals and these islands, they will captivate you. They will grab you. There are vultures waiting. There are alligators and crocodiles and other animals waiting there to eat you up. So shaitan is waiting to grab you. As soon as you leave Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command, the sunnah, they are there happy. They go for some time. They will make you feel good. After then, they start showing through you. It's like these people who kidnap children. First, they show candy, sweet. Look, we're going to give you chocolate, thing, a toy. They put in the car, and then they now actually start showing their true nature. They might put a pistol. They might grab a person or the child, or actually threaten them once they are in their destination. But before on the road, they want to be known good people. They are very loving. Because they want to attract. Similarly, shaitan and nafs and our shaitanic army, in the beginning, they look very, very nice. They look more at a person say, oh, my father said don't do this. No, he is my friend. My friend is better. He is my friend outside. the Tom, the Jack, the one, he is my friend. My father, mother, oh, they don't know anything. They are just, pestering me now and then. They are not my friend. But they are looking nice. They are looking very attractive now because actually they want to actually prey on you. They want to hunt you. They want to trap you. And you then look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is putting so many restrictions on us. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam putting so many restrictions. Look at these people. They are saying enjoy life. But once you go to them, then they show you by changing true colors what is inside there. A life of hell, actually. So your true nature is to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how you can do is, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed you each aspect. As one of the scholars was saying, when you entered this world, you entered through the umbrella of Sunnah. When you leave this world, you also live under the umbrella of Sunnah. By what he means? But that when you came into this world, someone did adhan in your ears. Someone gave you tahniq of a pious person. Someone told you something good. So sunnah, or these are sunnahs of giving birth, or sunnahs actually a newborn baby. So you enter the world in sunnah. When you leave the world, washing your body is sunnah. Putting a coffin is sunnah. Burying you, reading janazah, you leave the world under the umbrella of sunnah, and you come also under the shade of the sunnah. How blessed you will be when in between you will live also under the shade of the sunnah. These two things, the most important, the entry and the exit, you are doing it according to the sunnah, but that won't matter. Because why? Because these other people have done this now. It's not you doing it. It's your mother and father who perform the sunnahs of tahniq and adhan, and janazah is performed by others. But what have you done? You done whatever you did in between birth and death, and that's what would have been decided. So the nature of the human being is to fly in the sky of Sarwan so high that shaitan can't even see how the awliya Allah, how high they are. He is not from far, he cannot reach them. So come so above the shaitanic and dunya, so much actually above, like the awliya and sulaha. But if you go down, it's the slavery. It is your death of your iman and destruction of your good deeds. So at the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again said, since the spirits testify to the oneness of Allah, they have been sent to this world, again are given the bodies in order to prove practically what they testified in the world of spirits, that their nature is to be worshipful servants. Their nature is not to be gods. Their nature is to be servants. And in that service lies independence. It lies the truly independence. So I finish here, but obviously we'll inshallah continue. And now you can ask any question in relation to this topic, and especially the things which I have mentioned. But anyhow, if you want to act by this nature, following then the course of Tariqah Muhammadiyah, that's why it is known as the path of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that how you can live and make your body act like you should, meaning according to the nature you have been created as servant. How your mind and heart and soul can come in conformity with the sunnah, and the sunnah is the real nature which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed us in this world. MashaAllah.
Now it's come to the stage where you can ask the questions. Please keep them topic related. And don't shout out your answers or questions. Put your hand up and a microphone will be given to you so you can be heard. And the sisters at the back, if you want to ask a question, you can write them down, inshallah, then Hazrat will answer them. While you're thinking of a question, I've got a couple of announcements to make. There is a fortnightly gathering majlis in this very centre at 7:30 for brothers and sisters. Please participate in that every fortnightly on a Wednesday. at this centre at 7:30, and it is for brothers and sisters. Also, there is a welcome pack made for you. Please take that on the way out. Don't worry, there is enough packs for everyone, so don't all rush out outside now. There's enough welcome packs, take them with you. And the other thing I'd like to say is, like as I was saying, there is a course of self-purification, and the teacher will see the people who join the course after the gathering for that as well, for those people who join the course. And now, if there's any questions, please put your hand up and I will select some.